The commissioners of the Pac12, the ACC, and the Big 10 got together today and had their press conference, and we have got to unpack this because there is an awful lot of material to go through. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I want to hear from y'all, and this question was asked and answered in so many words, but I want to hear where y'all's heads are. Do you believe that this proposed super alliance between the three conferences is in direct response to Texas and OU looking to move into the SEC? Let me know what you're thinking because I absolutely think it is. If you are new to the channel or you are not subscribed, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification. I do constant college football content. I have a lot planned for the upcoming season, and I would love to have you a part of that journey. And if you do enjoy this content, be sure to like and comment down below. But with all of that being said, let's talk about some of this, and I want to address the point that I've seen taking social media by storm and something that caught me off guard. And I have just a very baseline legal understanding. I worked in law firms, I competed in undergraduate moot court, and thought I was going to law school, so I was prepped very slightly for that legal world. But when I heard that the three commissioners were only doing this based off of a gentleman's agreement, it seemed absolutely absurd to me. Because when the commissioners were asked if there was some sort of contract binding this proposed super alliance, all three of which stated, no, it's an agreement among three gentlemen and 41 institutions that we have a like-minded status amongst all of us and we would like to work together. And that sounds all well and good, but it doesn't seem practical. And someone else also thought that because the question was asked again. Don't you believe that it is in the best interest of everybody involved to have some sort of contractual obligation? You look at the Big 12 right now, and they're going through a situation right now, even though they were under contractual obligation. So if that's happening there with contracts, why don't you think it's in the best interest for you three to have a contract? And that answer didn't become any clearer to me, because one of the commissioners stated that they looked each other in the eyes and had an agreement. And that sounds all well and good, if only it was that simple in every sort of scenario that required or needed a contract to be put into writing. Because, I mean, we can call Hallmark and Lifetime about that great story. At the end of the day, this needs to be put into writing. It seems absurd that it won't, and I would be blown away if when this is all said and done and ultimately the dust settles and this happens, if it wasn't contractually binding, right? Because there were a lot of intriguing things, and they were sure to talk about the contracts they already have in place, stating that they didn't want to break any of the prior contractual obligations they had. They wanted to expand upon those, which is going to be something that we have to see how it's done, right? Because we don't know whether or not they're going to have to add games, although the three commissioners said that they were not interested in adding games. We don't know if they will drop to 8 games, which was a question that was asked. The Big 10 commissioner stated they played 9 games, some conferences play 8, so that was feasible. But in either sense, you can kind of get the picture I'm painting, that because we have these questions that are ultimately going to affect scheduling, how many games you play, who you play, there needs to be a contract in writing just for the benefit of everybody, and that's exactly why I would be so blown away if it wasn't. Another interesting thing that didn't catch me by surprise at all was when they were asked if they supported the playoff expansion it is currently proposed. All three commissioners stated yes, which makes sense. I think the two questions that really took me by surprise and really intrigued me are as follows. First and foremost, do you feel for the Big 12? And the other question was this a financial gain situation? Did you look at the proposed move of Texas and Oklahoma to the SEC, see how much money was to be gained, and that be a major influence for this decision? As it pertains to the first question about the fate of the Big 12, Big 10 Commissioner Kevin Warren went up and stated that he has a lot of respect for Bob Bowlesby and that there are a lot of fine institutions within the Big 12. And then another commissioner stated that they needed the Big 12 in the Power 5 football structure because it was key to the dynamics of the collegiate athletic model. Without it, they would be very interested to see what happens going forward. And the second question, was this about financial gain? At first, the commissioner of the Pac-12 stated that no, this is not about financial gain. It is about maintaining the structure of the collegiate system. However, just a few moments later, they were asked once again, if not about money, why? And he chimed in and said, well, I didn't say this was entirely about money, or that wasn't the main reason. At the end of the day, look, we can all be honest. There's a lot of reasons why you can do this, and I have no doubt that the list they had about mental health awareness, academics, all of that are true, But at the end of the day, this is in large part about the revenue that is to be made, because as one of the people asking questions pointed out, the SEC passed the Big Ten in revenue. Was that about this? And of course, financial gain is going to be a big part of why they would do this move. It only makes sense. And in fact, the underlying thing they kept talking about, and the ultimate reason why they stated they wanted this alliance, was about the stability of the college athletic model, which is very interesting to me when we weigh that question and that response, that they're so interested in the stability of the college model, with their response being so passive about the fate of the Big 12. To me, it seems like there would be a bit more of a plan of action for the Big 12 if you were that worried about the stability of it, but in fairness to everybody involved, there are still so many moving parts that it's hard to see the future right now of what stability could look like for the Big 12. That is why I'm so interested in all of this. I've reached out to a really knowledgeable guest on this situation. We're planning on getting together hopefully sometime next week. More details to come on that, but you do not want to miss that. That is going to be an awesome conversation. Hop down to the comments. I cannot wait to see where your head is at, because there are so many intriguing storylines about all this. That's it. See ya.